What's going on, you guys? I'm trying to think. So much has happened and I've been absent from YouTube. I've been doing things, busy with school, freelance work, and I don't know. I think for all of us, it's just crazy times, but for the past month or so, my dad and I have been working on the garage, organizing it and making it all nice. A while ago, I told you guys that we were gonna work on bad news. And before we wanted to work on it, we wanted to clean up the garage. It would be better for filming and all that. And it's just been something that my dad has been wanting to do, and I've been asking my dad to do for a while, and make the garage all pretty. It's a nice set. Now it is. Before, it was all over the place. You could barely walk around and stuff. So it's really nice right now. I'm excited to show you. So a year ago, I told you guys that we were gonna work on my dad's 32. Well, that never happened. Life got crazy, but hopefully we can get to it this year. We gotta fix the other hot rod first. And then this is my dad's 67 Bug that he's had for a long time. It's kind of like a relic from the 80s, as you can see, the paint job, but this thing's pretty fun to drive. It's really small, and if you haven't driven a Bug, it would totally surprise you driving this thing. I didn't know what to expect, and it's a fun little thing to drive around. I'm sure that's fun to drive, but that will be coming hopefully soon. But yeah, let me go get my dad and we'll give you a tour of the garage and show you everything. He's been collecting this stuff his whole life, so I'm sure he'll be happy showing it off. But yeah, let's go get him. All right, Dad, you ready to be on camera?
All right.
What's taking you so long?
Oh.
All right, you're finally back on camera. It's been a while.
Yep. It's been a crazy year. I'm sure a lot of you guys have experienced this crazy year too. But I felt like I was more disorganized than ever because we had been working on our house and more, restoration work and stuff. Like you can see the garage door. I always wanted to do like an original 50s style or 60s style wood door. The one that we had got beat up from our skateboarding and stuff. So anyway, this one, we found a guy that could build, he did it in the 60s. And
but the old one was aluminum.
Yeah, it was aluminum.
And that one was really light.
It was light. So this thing is really heavy. But the funny thing is that my friend Keith Wiesner in my club, and the artist, he had done a drawing recently of a garage door just like this, and that's kind of exactly what I was thinking in my head. So I sent him a picture of the garage door when it was done, and a picture of his sketch or his drawing with a car in front of it and whatever, and he's like, oh man, I knew I got the idea for this garage door from somewhere. But it was the total reverse. He had forgot, he did the drawing and we did the garage door like his drawing.
Well, just open it up.
Okay.
Let's see.
So I'm going to set this coffee down.
Don't drop it.
So you got to get a firm hold on it.
Oh, yeah.
So... After things went down this year, I felt like I was just, like I said, disorganized with everything. So one thing that I thought, if I get the garage somewhat organized again, then maybe we get more work done easily. And Ben's always been on me about my bikes being everywhere and moving bicycles. And so I thought one thing is cool, we could make the garage even better for filming and maybe doing a podcast. To finish decorating it like I wanted to, and make it functional at the same time, and also make it like a display for all the stuff that I've collected or things that I'm not using yet on the cars.
So how long have you been saving up all these items for this? How long? What's the oldest thing in this whole garage that you've had? How long have you had it for? Well, this has been your whole life, right?
Yeah, I've been collecting since I was a little kid, I guess. But it just, I've gotten more and more stuff, but. I'm not really a hoarder, I wouldn't say. My friend Coop called it, he said he's an accumulator. So it's it makes you feel better that you're, but I think all the stuff I have a lot of it's ended up having value and whatnot, but it's all stuff that inspired me and that I love, you know.
Yeah.
And so anyway, but back to the oldest thing, I guess this would probably be this sign right here.
The A?
No, not the A, the street sign.
The street sign, yeah.
That says Teasdale. That's from the first house that I lived in, the street corner.
When do you think that sign was made? It looks ancient.
Probably in the 50s or the 60s.
Is that a bell on it too?
No, that's what mounted it to the top of the post. But the funny thing is that we lived in the house until 1971, and then my aunt and uncle, Suzanne and Robert, they bought the house from my parents. And that sign was still there, but at some point when they lived there, they replaced the signs. They decided like they were going to put new street signs around. So they were discarding that, and then my aunt and uncle took it, and then they had it hanging in their garage. But then when they moved from that location, I don't remember how or why, but I got that. So one thing, it's cool, it looks neat, and I would probably have that anyway, but it means a lot because it's like the corner where I lived at.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Do you want to get started on this side of the garage and we'll work our way around?
Yeah.
So maybe start off with the shelves that you put up there.
So actually, should we talk about this? Because that was like the first thing that...
Oh yeah, that started the whole thing.
So these little drawers here...
Do you want to open one up?
Yeah. This one, now that has all the stuff that is left over from bad news. So if I need a part or whatnot...
Yeah. So we're a lot more organized.
Yeah.
Well, that's stuff you can't work on cars with.
Yeah.
Well, actually, we're not quite there yet because we don't have the names on them. We only have bad news. But like one of them, like this is all like miscellaneous stuff off my Mustang. Like here's like some brake components and stuff like that. So we're a lot more organized. Where before we just used to keep them in like weird canisters and stuff and just sort through it.
So it was funny. I went to buy parts for the Starliner, like a surplus store that has really cool nuts and bolts and whatnot. And then this thing was on a little like rollaway thing that said for sale. And I saw it one day, and then I thought, man, that'd be cool to get. But I left, and for some reason I had to go back and buy another part because I didn't get enough. And it was still there, and I thought, man, I'm just gonna get that. It was $40. So that kind of started. I brought that, and I thought, man, it'd be nice just to have, in my mind, I know where everything is in the garage, but nobody else could find it. Like if I told Ben, hey, go find this part for the 32 or this part for bad news, it'd be hard for him to find. So now, like, I try to get everything for each car or each thing, like, in one area.
Yeah, that's gonna be a lot more helpful. And then,
so over here, this was the other first thing I did was I have these wine bottles, and this is from when Ben and I and his grandpas, we went to Bonneville and we took salt that we took from the salt flats.
Yep.
Anyway, so I thought, hey, I should put those in that little corner. This area was never used, so I actually still had the top to the workbench that I had that was built for me by my stepdad Jim when I was a little kid. So these two shelves we built out of that workbench. Yep. And now all the hubcaps are pretty much up here.
Easy access to your skateboard.
Skateboard's hanging.
This guy used to skate with Tony Hawk back in the day. And actually, Tony Hawk reposted one of your photos.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I
don't need to get into that.
I wasn't pro. I was amateur. But anyway, so this, it's like all the oils and whatnot.
Easy access to get to it. It was all in like crates before.
And the other thing that we did was that this cabinet over here. Used to just have all kinds of miscellaneous stuff in it. And, like this came from, I found it was in the street, the neighbors were discarding it. But anyway, now...
That's you.
Yeah. So, that's me with bad news before it was bad news when I was 5.
Just slight differences, huh?
There's a photo of my mom and dad's outtake from Rod and Custom magazine. That's me. They're holding a Model T toy.
Anyways, just open up.
Anyway, so now this is all paints, like spray paint and stuff.
Organized by color somewhat, right?
Yeah, this is like model paints. You can see here some old high-tech Boyd Coddington paint that I guess now is collectible. He's no longer with us. And
I think a lot of things are collectible.
Yeah, but I mean, I bought that new. It's just funny.
And then, we put the skateboards up there. Those are my uncle's, Robert Williams. I did a video on that in the summer if you want to check that out. But this is basically inspired by his car, like all the color and stuff.
And the graphics.
Yeah, and then there's another board back there. They did like a limited run, and there's another board back there, but we can't see that. And we got Chucky right here.
And that, I don't even know where I got it or why, but he's been here for like 20 years, so we just keep him.
Yeah. Oh, and then here's a toolbox that my dad picked up for me, but this is like a relic from history right here. It's got all these like cool stickers and stuff.
It was going to go into Ben's car, but then we thought it was going to bounce around and whatnot, so Ben came up with the idea to put CDs in there, because sometimes we still listen to CDs.
Yep, with the CD player here and some speakers.
Yeah, so
this thing's awesome though, right? Like,
yeah, I love it. Look at the back of it.
It's got all these cool stickers.
Even the POWs never have a nice day. So yeah, whoever had that was an old hot rodder in the 60s probably.
We cleaned it off. It was fun to restore and stuff. Oh, and then whose cigar is that?
That's one of Bill Hines' cigars. And this is a little rag that was printed, and he signed it for me. So here, Bill Hines.
And then who is he exactly for people that don't know?
He's a really famous custom car builder, and he was a super cool guy. He was, I don't remember what disease he had, but he was degeneratively had problems. But he lived for a really long time. He's like, he was from the East Coast originally, but he was known for smoking a cigar all the time. So I don't know, a couple years before he died, one time at the Moon Eyes party, the Ratfing party, he had a bunch of these out there, and I'm like, I don't know, it was like $10 or something, but I thought, how cool is that it's a weird thing to have a smoked cigar, but that was like his trademark, so and then I just had this cigar box, so
that's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, and then you wanted to show this. This is what started everything this year.
Yeah, so when I started cleaning the garage, this was out here, like, I guess I picked up some newspapers back in January. This is January 31st, 2020. And I picked this up. I'd saved a bunch of paper for masking, to paint something. But I'm like, this is before I even knew, I didn't even think anything of this at the time. But, about a month after this, things totally changed.
and we can't say the word because of YouTube. But you all know what it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, we weren't really able to walk anywhere around here. It was just full of stuff.
And might I add that part of that was because of the house. That was the problem. What really happened was that it was kind of mess in here, but when the house started getting redone, the room that Ben's in, we had to move a bunch of stuff out of because we changed the wall. And so anyway, everything ended up in here.
Yeah.
So that was like the downfall. And then, we had a lot of stuff we wanted to get rid of, and we've gotten rid of all kinds of stuff by selling online, and but mainly just giving stuff to Goodwill. And it still doesn't look like we got rid of anything, but it's unreal how much stuff we got rid of.
So one of my biggest frustrations with this garage was how many bikes my dad had in it. It was absurd. So basically I got him to move a bunch of them to different sheds, hang them up. So he only kept his favorites in here, so we'll have him go through that. But I don't know where to get started. Let's start with your favorite bike.
This is it, probably, I'd say.
This purple one?
Yeah. It's called a J33 Schwinn Stingray, and they only made it in 1965. It has a Springer fork, but it's a standard size 20-inch wheel. It's a 2-speed rear hub. To the unknowing or whatever, it just looks like another Stingray, but everything's different on it because it's 1 year only.
Yeah. So what got you into collecting these bikes?
Well, I had a Stingray when I was a kid, and actually that's one of my favorite bikes. I should have it in here, but it's actually in the shed.
Oh, I guess I lied.
Well, no, I mean, I don't know why it's in there right now, but it is. So I had a 1973, or have a 1973 Stingray. And, it was right at the end of the banana seat thing and when BMX started. So, I was on the tail end of it. So these bikes are older than me, most of these. But the thing, basically these things are they're all automotive style, based around automotive customizing and hot rodding style.
Do you want to take one out?
Yeah, well.
Look at that, easy access. Oh.
Yeah. So, this one, all the cars back then, they had, there's a lot of chrome, custom cars had white interiors, white seat. The paint on all Schwinn Stingrays is candy. This is called violet, and this is an opalescent violet, which is the earlier color.
Uh-huh.
But that's the thing, is just like, it looks like a little hot rod. It's got a slick tire. It came with a slick, just like is based on, a drag car.
Yeah, and it kind of reminds me of all like the patina muscle cars and stuff. It's like the same vibe. Like these aren't like, some of your bikes aren't perfect. Like the paint's all like, it's the kid has been doing jumps and hopping curbs and stuff and banging it against the wall and stuff.
It's funny with my bikes, I kind of struggle with, I want to customize a lot of stuff and I like them custom, but I also like them all stock like a muscle car collector would be. But I'd rather have original paint, even if it's totally beat up, than have like a repainted bike, even though it's nice to have a restored one. Yeah. All my bikes are original paint.
Yeah, and then there's another example. It's like the mag wheel, right?
Yeah, so this is like totally like, but this is a accessory fork that's a extended fork, like a chopper fork from the late 60s. But it's called a mini mag. So it's actually like a 5-spoke mag, just like a hot rod, or they based on sports cars too.
Yeah, and then this thing's pretty crazy too. This is You will not let me get even close to this because he's afraid that I'm gonna hit the graphic on it and scrape it. But it's a pretty crazy bike. It's got the dual shifters and stuff. It's pretty crazy. It's
a Murray Eliminator, and it has a slick, and it's got like one of these is for shifting, and one is like a power brake, so you could do like a skid.
No burnout.
Yeah, burnout. But anyway, this bike, it's funny because actually the funny other thing is that I have all these bikes and all this stuff, but most of it I collected before it was popular. So I didn't pay like anything like what they go for. Most of them. I mean, I have paid high prices on a couple bikes, but most of my stuff I just, I lucked out. I was ahead of the curve, or came across stuff. Everything was swap meets, garage sales, and then obviously when eBay happened, a lot of this stuff came about that way.
And then, that's from your car accident when you got thrown out of Keith's car, right?
Yeah. So that was on me. Luckily, I didn't really have a broken neck, but that was what I had on me in the ambulance.
So you got did the seatbelt rip out and you just flew out of the car, or what happened?
Yeah, basically. I got broadsided.
Or what car was it?
It was his Roadster, which is now totally bitching and finished, but it got demolished. Luckily, I was hurt pretty bad, but considering what happened,
I was
out
very
and fortunate.
Took photos right away.
I took a photo as I rolled on the ground. I flew out of the seatbelt broke, and the seat back went like 20 feet in the air, my friend said, and then I flew out over the door, and somehow people said maybe because I skate, I was able to not get hurt, but I rolled and I skidded, and I just had like my jacket ripped, but and then I ended up by the curb, and then I started taking pictures with my phone, because I'm always taking pictures.
Do you want to show them one of your old school boards up there, one of those little guys?
Yeah. Hey, this one. So
you also collect skateboards too.
Among
other things.
Yeah, I think most of my inspiration and everything goes back to skating, especially back then. Like everything in the 70s, it was a new thing, and there wasn't that many people that were doing it. Although it did get boomed, and then it died out. But anyway, this board is a funny story. It's an early Hobie board. My dad was in the health food business, and my family was, and VitaPack made these boards for Hobie. I think that's the whole story. But anyway, my dad gave me this in the later 70s because he knew the guy. And it was totally obsolete. Like, it was kind of like getting like a 10-year-old computer. It was worthless because the times changed so fast. Skateboarding evolved so quickly. But anyway, I hung on to this thing the whole time. And then later I found the correct wheels and trucks. But now it's like, it's obviously, you can see it's like a mini surfboard. There's supposed to be a decal here. But anyway, it's a pretty rare board to get now. Even though when they made them, I think when my dad got this one, they probably had so many of them they didn't know what to do with because they were, leftover. They probably threw a bunch of them in the trash. They probably had hundreds of them.
This guy knows too much about too many things. And then we put up another shelf. Well, actually, did you have that shelf kind of up there a little while ago?
I started building that like right before all this happened.
But then we kind of finished it.
Yeah.
So that's got your fenders from the 32 up there. And then we put more skateboards up there because we have too many. Then that's your horse from when you were a child, right?
Yeah. So it's called Blaze, and it's dated in 1961. That's when they made them, but I got it probably when I was a kid, like in '67, brand new. And it's like you know, it rocks back and forth.
Yeah.
And it used to make a noise like when you pull the cord. So I've had that thing. It was at my mom's, and then my mom got tired of having it in the yard. The legs on the backside were eaten by some of our puppies. So it only has legs on this side.
It's missing one. But we try to make him get rid of it, but he found a spot for it. So everyone's happy now.
so Ben's mom, my wife, Nicole, it was driving her crazy because it's been in the corner of the yard. And I don't even know why it means anything to me because I don't ride horses or anything. But I guess because it's been with me so long, I was like, you know, and then I looked up here and I saw we hung up this old BB gun that I had, and I thought, man, that's cool. It's like a Western horse, and it goes with the BB gun, and it's, you know, looks cool up there.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go over to this corner now. There's a lot to look at in this corner. Oh, here's 2 motors. Do you want to get into that maybe?
Yeah, that motor over here, they're both Oldsmobile motors, like 50 to 53 engines. This one I think has 56 heads on it, but I'm not positive. This one's rebuilt. That one was originally supposed to be for Bad News. It turned out it wasn't good like I thought it was. It's a long story, but anyway, the engine in the car in Bad News was out of Lee Pratt's 40 Ford, and he's an amazing guy, and it's neat that motor is in this car. He changed it. I wish he would have left this engine in his 40 Ford.
It sounds good.
Yeah, but he put in a Chevy that he had always wanted to put in a car. So about the same time, just by luck, you know, we were able to buy that. And actually, this is funny. When I was cleaning up, I found like paperwork from when we were building the car, and then I saw this. Like, this was the note that I wrote, or I think my friend Darren Wright, might have written this. So it just says, has a magneto, and it's also rebuilt Olds motor, 53 Olds motor, old race car engine. So, and it was $800.
What a deal.
Yeah. So.
And then, do you want to show them the magazine cover?
For almost 10 years, I worked for Run Custom and Street Router and all the magazines, and this is one of my favorite covers that I worked on.
You did it.
I art directed it and laid it out, did all the graphic design, did the 60-year logo, and you know, I had the chance to work with a lot of people that I had known outside the industry, like Rob Fortier and Brian Brennan and Ryan Manson and all kinds of guys, you know. Kev Elliott, who I'd worked with on other English magazines beforehand. But anyway, the cool thing about this also is that those are all my magazines from my magazine collection. And Ben actually shot that photo in the backyard, like when he first got a real camera.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
And then what's going on over here? Just a little bit more of a display of random things.
This green frame was actually from my neighbor across the street, a cool guy, and I always liked it. And when he was actually after he passed away, the family didn't want it, and I said I'd love to have that. So this glass here. This is actually out of my Deuce Coupe, and I love how my uncle actually was the one that showed me how old car glass would separate like that. So it was in the car for a while, but when I chopped the top with Scott Gildner, I got a new piece of glass. This cocktail sign is actually, it's one of my favorite things. It's from a restaurant called the Witch Stand that is now like a health food restaurant or something, but it's one of the like really cool atomic age.
Yeah, it's a really cool sign.
Yeah, one of the other things I really like is like modern architecture.
And then, so we got the compressor in, but that's been there for a while. Shout out to my grandparents for hooking that up. But, you know, you guys were getting mad at me for using manual tools to loosen up my lug nuts. So now we have some proper air tools, and so let me tell you, it's a lot easier to get the wheels off my car now. And then this whole wall's got a lot going on. Maybe we could start from the top.
Those Nerf bars up there were from a 27 Roadster that was from a bunch of cars that were up in Tahunga. Actually, the car got redone, but John Fisher in my club, his 29 Roadster, the black one, it came out of that yard. So when the guy bought the car, and he kept it a traditional hot rod, but he discarded a bunch of the parts, and I got a bunch of parts off that. At one point, I bought those because they're for 27T, so I thought about putting them on the car before it was Bad News.
Yeah.
And then, as you can see, this 32 Ford 5-window dash, that's like the swamp meet price that's on it for when it was bought, which, you know, I think it's
$75.
Yeah, I think it's a lot more now. And then this dash I cut down. This is supposed to go into bad news, but it never did, and it still might. But I was going to make a custom dash out of this 51 Ford dash. Mm-hmm. And then these came out of a garage in LA. They're for a Buick nailhead. One of them's been cut down, but they're headers. They came out of like an old hot rod was stored.
Those are pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then drill press. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, this was a estate sale find. And then this whole thing, it looks simple, but I got this at the same estate sale as I got the drill press. But
do you want to open it up?
Yeah, we made a base for it and a new top, and then strengthened it for the drill press. And then now all of our power tools and stuff are in here.
Yeah, that's cool. And then do you want to move that sign real quick?
Oh,
And
yeah.
then, yeah. So then we have more container with a bunch of different stuff in there. Bunch of nuts and bolts.
All kinds of miscellaneous stuff. So, and this is actually pretty neat. This Moon Eyes, it's, you know, American Graffiti piston shifter knob, but it's actually from Yokohama, from the Moon Eyes Japan store. My dad went to Japan to visit my stepbrother back when that store first opened up in Japan. So it's a really old one, even though they still make them. I don't know if the packaging is like that. But.
Crazy. That's cool. The calendar. Did you say Lefty gave that?
Yeah, so my friend Lefty, he sent a few of us in the club some of these that I don't know what his story was and how he got them, but he got them. He like sent me this one because my birthday's in September. I wasn't born in 58.
Yeah, not in 58.
But September. So, yeah, look at how cool that car is.
Oh, yeah.
And obviously the chick's hot. But
and then, oh yeah, here are my valve covers that were on my car and then didn't work. I had to put spacers with them, and then the gaskets broke and they were a hassle. But if anyone has these that are like the tall version for a small block Ford, let me know, because I love how these look. I do not like my Edelbrock valve covers. And then this thing's pretty cool too.
It says Andy Guard. I can't remember the maker, but I looked for one of these for a long time. I had one of these when I was like 2 years old, and I have a photo of me from the front on it, but I didn't even really remember like what it was or whatever. And for years, I finally found one on eBay. So it's not in the perfect condition, but it's pretty neat. It's the same exact thing as the Barbie and Ken car, but just bigger. The Barbie and Ken hot rod.
Yeah.
So anyway,
cool.
it's, you know,
and then that's
funny that I thought I used to ride on that thing.
Yeah, your little butt.
Yeah.
And then that's another mag wheel for the Bug, right?
Yeah,
so
that's an MP 5-spoke.
That was one of the first things we started.
Yeah.
We put on the wall. When
It's
we were
funny.
organizing.
This is a little quick story, but my friend Robert, he had a show bug that Scott Gilner built that was black convertible, had polished 5-spokes on it, and the first show he went to with me was at Irvine Meadows, and the Japanese guys were buying a lot of VWs at that point. They probably still are, but they would carry around like briefcases of cash or like bags, like duffel bags. So they tried to buy my car, and I wouldn't sell it, even though they offered a lot of money. I'm glad I didn't sell it, but it was pretty tempting because it was a lot. So anyway, Robert's car, he sold it, and so he left there without his car. And this was meant to be his spare tire, but it was never in the car, or spare wheel.
That's funny.
So there was a chrome jack and a few other parts that I got from him because they weren't in the car.
And then what's the story on this car too?
So this pedal car, it's a different name brand, but it's the same one that my wife Nicole had when she was a kid. There's a photo that we have of her, and her mom and dad bought her present. It was a little gasser pedal car.
It's funny how good the colors are on that thing. And then do you want to show them the cabinet as well?
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this was, our paint stuff was in here before, but now we kind of just like...
It's more organization.
Yeah,
as well.
everything in here is like useful, except for this is like collectible paint, but you know, we have like, you know, like things that are oils and whatnot over here, and buffing compound, and this is like more like real car paint, and then detailing stuff and thinners and whatever, you know. So, and tape. This is all adhesives and glue. So hopefully it stays organized.
Ooh, I could smell the fumes from here.
Yeah.
And then we got my aunt and uncle up there.
And then
Another cool.
The other photo is Ed Iskandarian when he was a kid, when he was like a teenager back in the 30s.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So this area, this has been here. It didn't change much, but I added all these things, you know, like.
Yep. So much to look at.
Yeah.
Oh no, I was just saying we had this.
Oh yeah, we had this.
And then this is a little cool story behind this too.
Actually, the guy that I got the drill press from, or the estate that I got the drill press from, the drill press was on this when I bought it. And it's a Craftsman from, I think, the 40s or the 50s.
Yeah, but the guy who owned this worked at Lockheed Martin.
In Burbank.
Yeah, back in the day.
So it's pretty cool. Like it has like local history and, you know, part of the wartime effort or post-war.
Yeah, pretty cool. And then
So this is there I am again, that other photo that you saw earlier. That's me and my parents. And then this is the feature from Broughton Custom in the 70s of my dad's car, which he still has, and it looks exactly like that.
that's crazy.
And then this is a calendar that I did with Tornado Design and some other people on Von Dutch. So even though the calendar's out of date, it still has killer pictures in it.
And then we have all like the wood over here.
One other thing, you come over here. We had it. We used to have this thing in our house. We had a vintage globe in the house, and Ben wanted me to sell it. And then I thought, you know what? The way this year's been, let's hang this thing upside down. So
That's funny.
Got an upside down world.
And then let's get into what's going on with bad news. That's the next project now that the garage is pretty much done.
Yeah, so as usual in my life, it seems like things take longer for various reasons to happen. But we took out the transmission and to fix some stuff to go to the Santa Barbara drags that Trog, the Race of Gentlemen drags in Santa Barbara. And then I found some other problems. I thought, hey, you know, let's not rush it back together. Let's fix everything because the car had never been apart since we built it, you know.
Yeah. So comment down below if you guys want to see a video on this. I'm really into doing that. And we hopefully do it soon.
Yeah, so when everything started happening this year, we went and we got the flywheel surfaced and we got a new clutch disc and new throwout bearing, a bunch of stuff from Valley Friction, because we thought, man, I wonder if some of the businesses aren't going to be here any longer, that old, you know, small businesses. So I think they survived. But anyway, so we got a bunch of parts, and then, you know, things just got stranger and stranger, and we didn't work on the car, but we started doing, you know, a lot of other things and, you know, working on the garage. But now that was the other main goal, is to make, you know, get back to this thing. There isn't that much, it's not like super complicated, you know, it's just, you just got put off, you know.
Yeah, so we'll have to do that. Hopefully no more bad news will come out of this year. Yeah. So that was a long video. I don't know how many of you guys have made it to the end, but I thought it would just be cool to leave it in long format. And, you know, some of these videos, when they're cut short, you know, some people want to hear more about certain things. So, and it's a cool thing to document. We'll look back at this years from now and be like, oh, wow. I don't know. I feel like this whole year is just like just crazy times. It's cool to preserve stuff. So yeah, stay tuned for more videos and we'll see you guys soon.